Go into any library and study the titles devoted to business and organization. One easily notices that among the myriad of success-oriented writings, many of these books lack a meaningful conclusion. It's as if a chapter remains unwritten. It is this chapter that the Williamson Free School of Mechanical Trades has been quietly living out for more than a century. That missing chapter is legacy. Isaiah Williamson was a man who understood what it meant to leave a legacy. His legacy, along with that of John Wanamaker, President Byers, the Wanamaker Family Foundation, and so many others, has given us the foundational heritage to build and grow, that we might leave our legacy for others. Like Isaiah Williamson, one of its graduates has played a tremendous role in crafting a legacy that will provide for others for many years to come. Walter Strine Sr., Class of 1929, founder and CEO of Media Real Estate, tradesman, teacher, husband and father, marks his great success on the legacy he leaves. When Walter arrived at Williamson in 1925, there were many things that would distinguish it from today. There was an agriculture program and a newly adapted pre-admissions program then known as the Rooks.
Williamson School was termed a rook by this president of the school, who very suddenly, I believe, I don't know this for a fact, but I think very suddenly he decided on having a rook class. I contacted one or two of the boys who graduated from Williamson. One was a bricklayer and one was a carpenter. They both spoke highly of Williamson. And I did enjoy working with my hands, and I was very, very active, too active that I didn't study enough. So I was just about a dropout. I thought if they could go to Williamson, so could I. So I made inquiry, and after a long wait, I received a letter of acceptance. The life here at Williamson School was a bowl of cherries. There was a lot expected from us, and I was 16 years of age. Anything goes at that age, except I didn't like getting up about 5:30 in the morning to go down and milk cows. That's where I ended up, as a farm rook in the dairy, taking care of the cows. They had a herd of cattle of 21 head, and they had hundreds and hundreds of chickens that had to be cared for. So we rooks were invited to attend Williamson School. Whether that was the only reason, I don't know, but somebody had to come back to school and clean it up, and that's where the rook class developed and grew.
Today, the Rook program continues to thrive because of Walter Strine's commitment to the program, allowing students who require remedial assistance in math, science, or English to prove themselves. In the last 10 years alone, hundreds of young men have become Williamson men as a result of the Rook program. It is this work with students that has given Walter the greatest satisfaction.
The boys are the important part of the school.
Following the completion of his time at Williamson, Walter began his own business and eventually began to teach the trades at Glen Mills School. It was during this time that he began his career in real estate investment.
1929, I don't know what that means to you, but it meant a severe depression to us boys at Williamson School. They laid it on us. Nobody had a job. You had to go out there and scratch for yourself. And it lasted like that for quite a while. Some of the boys had real trouble. I was very lucky to get that job at Glen Mills School, And to the best of my knowledge, I haven't missed a day yet.
Walter continued to follow this line of work on a part-time basis until he became so busy he had to devote himself to it full-time. His late wife Elizabeth was a musician who taught music for a living. She became the inspiration in the Strine support of the installation of the carillon on top of the main administration building.
Mrs. Stein and I visit the school quite often, especially Alumni Day. And I always associated a carillon with a college or any school of learning, and we did not have one. It was kind of dull. So Mrs. Strine and I decided that we would get a carillon for the school and liven it up a little bit.
Walter astounded the Williamson family this year by announcing that he would fund the renovations of the academic center that includes the building of a new library.
The academic center should be brought up to date with the computer age. Of course, at my time, they did not have such a thing. There were no computers, but times do change, and the school does change somewhat with it. But sometimes it doesn't change fast enough, and it's nice to give it a boost because every boy that goes through here is exposed to the library. This library will be up to date with computers and all the electrical devices that are recognized in this stage.
The new facility will bring Williamson into a whole new perspective by finally bringing the academic and shop programs into proximity of one another.
But I like to help people that help themselves. Williamson has improved greatly in the last 10 years. I think it's pretty well up to date. Our physical plant is better than it was. The class of teachers are more qualified. Where my life is exposed to other lives and I see a need, I will satisfy that need.
Though outstanding and unique in its size and scope, Walter Strine's gift remains an example of the generous support the school has received regularly from alumni and friends. Without the support and leadership of its Board of Trustees, Williamson would falter. With this support, Williamson will further craft its legacy, making it possible to continue its mission of preparing young men to be useful, respected citizens.